I would now like to invite on stage Mr. Martin Tan, CEO of the Majurity Trust, to share his opening address. Martin, please.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. Guest of honor, Speaker Tan Chuan Jin, Ms. Anita Pham, President NCSS, Dr. John Lee, Country CEO and CEO of Maybank Singapore, partners, friends, good afternoon and welcome to the Majurity Conversations 2021. 2 years ago, we met at the Drama Center for our very first Majurity Conversations, talking about the person, passion, and purpose behind doing good with keynote speaker Scott Harrison, founder and CEO of Charity Water, and Dr. Goh Wei Leong, founder of HealthServe. This year, we're delighted to welcome Wes Moore, CEO of Robin Hood Foundation in New York, as our keynote speaker, together with our esteemed panelists, to talk about philanthropy, the way forward. 2 years ago, we held the Majurity Conversations in conjunction with the official launch of the Majurity Trust. This year, we are holding the Majurity Conversation in conjunction with the official launch of the Maybank Momentum Grant. 2 years ago, we met in person. This year, we're meeting on Zoom. Life as we know it has changed since 2020. For one, orange is no longer just a fruit, circuit breaker is no longer just an electrical safety feature, and we will no longer take toilet paper for granted, ever. What hasn't changed, however, is that life continues to affect different ones of us differently. Charles Dickens, in his book, The Tale of Two Cities, probably put it best, though I think centuries apart. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. 2020 was such a time. We saw our vulnerable communities hit the most, and with new gaps surfaced, but at the same time, we've also seen greater level of support ever given. It was a time we saw the collective giving of Singaporeans go up, but also one of the deepest decline in fundraising for many of our charities, particularly the smaller ones. If 2020 is to teach us anything, it is that no one agency alone can help solve the problem we face as a nation. Not government alone, not the social sector alone, not the corporates or philanthropists alone. But collectively, we can face any challenge thrown our way. Many of you attending today have been a part of our collective journey of building thriving communities for all in Singapore. Our donors, key partners like Tote Board, MCCY, MSF, NCSS, amongst others, grantees, volunteers. Together, you responded to the needs on the ground that came fast and furious. You were there in the dormitories supporting our migrant communities before the crisis took root. You created learning content that parents can use with their children when circuit breaker happened. You sang home in unison, over 900 of you to lift the spirit of a nation. It was truly SG strong. It was truly SG together. It was truly SG united. But as consuming as COVID was, regular societal issues remained critical to be supported, and our donors responded. Palm Oil Giant Museum Masks gave $1 million last year to seed the Blue Star Fund that focused on preventing youth depression and suicide. We launched the Silver is Gold Fund to widen support for persons living with dementia and their caregivers. Also, in partnership with the Financial Markets Association of Singapore, we raised over $500,000 for the ACI Trampoline Fund to support vulnerable individuals and families that need help to bounce back from the crisis. Unprecedented times also calls for innovative ways to address challenges differently. With the generous gift of $2 million from Maybank Singapore, and with the help of our friends at Tri-Sector Associates, we are today launching the Maybank Momentum Grant, a first-of-its-kind recyclable grant in Singapore that provides much-needed cash flow and capital support to young, promising charities that simply need a boost during these difficult times. We cannot thank Maybank enough for their unwavering support in making the Maybank Momentum Grant a reality. But more on that later. Together, we've raised over $6.6 million in 2020, supporting over 180 charities and ground-up initiatives, reaching over 360,000 beneficiaries. And we're happy to share that we are on track to reach 100% commitment rate for all our funds. All this are only possible because we did it collectively. So thank you to each and every one of you on this call and beyond for making 2020 the best of times during the worst of times. Today, we'll be talking about philanthropy, the way forward. We want to cast an eye on what the world will be like post-COVID and the role we can all play. What should donors be focusing on? What do donors want to see? How can charities and ground-up groups respond in this time? How can charities and philanthropists partner governments to build thriving communities in Singapore? That will be our conversation for today. To start us off, it is my great pleasure to welcome one of our heroes in the social sector. who himself had raised millions of dollars for the charity sector with his beautiful photography. Please join me in welcoming our guest of honor, Speaker Tan Chuan Jin, to give his guest of honor address. Speaker, please.